Hi everyone, welcome back to Discover and Learn. Today I'm going to talk about why it is important to have a good communication skills in English. Why we need to be a good communicator in English, or why we need to speak good English or better English. Right? We all speak in English, but very few people leave an impact on us. What is the difference between them and the rest of the people, right? Who speak English, but there's a difference between some people who makes an impact on us and some are not able to make an impact on us, which means the people who are able to make an impact on us are definitely good communicators. They have flawless communication skills or flawless English, right? Or they speak flawless English. So today let's talk about why we need to speak flawless English, or why we need to be a good communicator, or why we need to have good communication skills in English, why it is essential in today's world. Let's discuss. On that note, guys, welcome back to my channel. I am your communications coach and a soft skill trainer by profession, and I'm here to help you out with all your communications problems and to help you speak English fluently and confidently. And if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, quickly subscribe my channel, like and share my videos, do write your comments in the comment section, and do not forget to press the notification icon so that you get all my videos on time, free of cost, and access to all the amazing content on this channel. What you have to do is stay tuned, stay connected, and watch the entire content to master this skill. Now let's get back to this interesting topic. So I think it's very important for us to know why we need to be a good communicator, or what are the advantages of being a good communicator, right? Or why we all should have a good communication skills in English. Okay, what are the factors or how it helps us to become more successful or be a better person altogether? Okay, the first advantage of being a good communicator is your ideas or thoughts are crystal clear, or clarity. So when you're speaking to people or people are listening to you, they very well understand you word by word. They follow every bit of your communication or every bit of what you are saying. This is what a good communication means. When people start following you or understanding you word by word or sentence by sentence, and they're very clear about what you're trying to say without any misinformation or without any misunderstanding or without any communication gap, that means you are a good communicator. Okay, so your messages are crystal clear and you have clarity in your speech. The first advantage of being a good communicator is people understand you very well. They look up to you for information. They look up to you for information. If they're stuck somewhere, they want to come to you and speak about it because they know that they are going to understand you very well. Okay, so that is the first advantage of a good communicator. So that is why we have to strive hard to become a good communicator. For this, what we have to do, we have to gain more knowledge on different subjects so as to speak more clearly on things, right? To express our ideas in a better way, we need to know about that subject. So we need to study a lot. We need to keep reading or keep listening to stuffs from different spheres of life so that our thoughts can be clear and we'll be able to speak clearly on things. So our messages are crystal clear. Second advantage of being a good communicator is there's no communication gap. Now, in many instances, we have faced a lot of these instances where we feel there's a communication gap. When we study in schools, colleges, or we are in offices also, there's a lot of communication gap. Now, what does communication gap means? Communication gap just means that, whatever thing is communicated to you, you either understand partially or you don't understand it clearly. Okay, and that is why there's a communication gap between the communicator and the listener. Okay, if our manager tells us that tomorrow there's a meeting at 10 o'clock and everybody has to be present in it. And the agenda is also clear. Okay, but we prepare everything when we come to the meeting and there are some questions related to something else and we are blank. This is what a communication gap is. The agenda is set, everything is set, but we couldn't think beyond that, or we were not communicated that this can also come up. So that is why we were not prepared. So this is a communication gap. Okay. Likewise, the lots of events or the lots of incidences in our life when we feel there's a communication gap. Okay. So if you are a good communicator, you will try to minimize these communication gaps and there will be obviously no scope for a communication gap. You know what your agenda is, you know what you are going to talk in the meeting and what extra things can come up in the meeting, and you have conveyed every single thing to your team or people who are attending the meeting. This is what being a good communicator is. A good communicator always makes sure there's no communication gap or there is no scope of a communication gap. Okay, so this is another advantage of being a good communicator. The third advantage of being a good communicator is you will be able to manage or resolve a conflict. Okay, so when you are in a fix or when you feel that there is a situation where things can become a little serious or the matter can heat up, okay, between two parties, if you can sense that, you will definitely take an effort to nullify that or take an effort to reduce that heat or reduce that or minimize that situation, right? So only if you're a good communicator, you will be able to sense everything and you will be able to manage a conflict. Okay, and you will make sure in future also there's no conflict. Okay, so if you are a good communicator, you know how to talk to both parties who are in conflict. Or if you're a good communicator, you know if there is something wrong during a conversation, you know how to handle it again. Okay, to lighten up the mood or to minimize the situation. So this is another advantage. You will be a good conflict manager or you will be able to resolve or manage a conflict. And you will be able to make sure that this conflict doesn't arise in future. So this is another advantage of being a good communicator. Fourth is, of course, your growth and success. You will definitely grow in your career. You will definitely be successful in life. Okay, because when you are a good communicator, which means that you are very clear about what you want. And everybody in your professional setup or a personal setup knows about it. They have no doubt of what you're thinking, what your thoughts are, what your ideas are, and what your future plans are. So it will definitely help you to be successful in your career, in your personal life, and everything you undertake. Because people are convinced, they know that you are somebody who can do it, who can achieve it. So that is why nobody will stop you from growing. Okay, so that is why if you're a good communicator, people around you knows it very well. You don't have to show it. People can notice it. People understand it with the way you communicate, with the way you express your ideas and thoughts. People know what you are capable of. So you don't have to show off your capabilities. This will help you to drive your path. Okay, so that is why to be successful in life, to grow in your career, to reach your goals, personally as well as professionally, it is very important to be a good communicator. The way you communicate your thoughts and ideas will make people around you know your intentions, your plans, and they will help you to achieve it, definitely. Another one is, if you're a good communicator, you will definitely be able to say no to people in a very balanced and positive way. Then there are lots of situations, professionally also and personally also, where we want to say no, but we are in a fix. We don't know how to say no. If we say no, probably situation might get worse. Right? We think about it many times. Professionally, we think a lot about it. We don't want to say no directly. So in this case also, if you're a good communicator, you know how to say no to people. in a good way, in a positive way, in an upfront way. Okay. And all of this comes from experience, guys. It's not about that, if you started speaking in English fluently and confidently, you are a very good communicator. No, everything takes time. It's all about experience. It's all about what exposure you have got, right? If you're in a school or a college, you're speaking in English, you have a little less exposure to things, right? Where, you are in communication with you just communicate to your teacher and your colleagues or friends, right? And situations are very different. But when you are professionally out and you are on your own, you have to do everything on your own. You have to justify everything. You have to come up with things, or you have to complete the work. You are on your own. So there are lot many situations which comes up wherein you have to communicate well to people. You know how to communicate. But when you're new to your professional life, it will be little difficult for you. So with time and experience, you will definitely learn. Okay. So that is why learning a language is very easy. But being a good communicator takes time and exposure also, and experience. The more you get experience into things, the more you get exposure into different situations, the better you will be, the better you'll get at communicating. Yes, this is the key, guys. To be a good communicator, you have to be experienced. You have to gain experience every single day. You have to learn from your experiences. And the exposure which you are getting, that also shapes your communication skills. I'll give you an example of my first job. I was a fresher. I joined as a fresher in an IT company. And I didn't had any exposure to professional life. I didn't had any exposure to corporate communications and all. So that was my first time. So I started working with my manager and the team. There were a lot of situations in which I was stuck and I was not able to express myself. I had this feeling that, if I tell this to my manager, she might scold me. I might lose my job. And I started thinking this and I started working more and more, but it was not giving any results. Then after some time, my manager came to me and she asked me, are you facing any problem in your job, or what is the problem which you're facing? Let's discuss today. And then I was very unsure whether I should speak up or not. But then I gathered all my courage and I spoke to her about my problems. And then the first thing she told me was, see, now you're telling me this. If you would have told me a week before, probably things would have been better, right? So you should have communicated these things to me before. You should have not kept it within yourself. Why did you do that? She asked me this question and I was completely blank. I didn't know what to say, right? And then at that point, I realized that yes, I have to break that monotony. I need to know how to tell her about my problems. I should have gone and asked her, like, this is what I'm facing. Can you please help me with that? Probably this is a very polite way of asking, right? So we have to be a little polite in communicating our problems. But at that time, I started thinking that what she will think, that I don't know anything, or I have not taken any effort, or she'll start scolding me. So I was in that mindset, like a college or a school kid, right? Wherein we have this feeling that, if I go to the professor and she will start scolding me, or, I'll go to the teacher and she will start scolding me. That is not the case in professional life. You have to break that mindset. You have to keep everything aside, right? You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from your experiences. So that was the thing I learned from there, that you never have to keep everything to yourself, or you should not be scared of any situation. Like, if this is not working for me, what will happen? We need to come to a solution. I need to come to a solution. I need to find a solution to that problem. I need to discuss it with my manager. I need to discuss it with my team so that I can get a solution. Right? But you have to take efforts. If every problem you're going to your manager or your team, it doesn't give a good impression, right? People will start thinking that he or she don't want to work, don't want to take efforts, and start doing things on its own, right? That is why every problem he or she comes up to us. You should not do this. Try doing things, try coming up with solution by yourself first, take some efforts, see if it is working or not. And if it is not working, then go to your manager or team and then discuss with them that this is what I tried doing, but this also is not working. So what do I do now? Okay, so this is how you can just show that you are taking efforts, but you're not able to find a solution. So that is why you have come to him or her, your manager, for a solution, which shows that of course you have tried to put an effort from your end, but it's not working. So now this person has come to me. Okay, so you will start learning things from your experiences and situations also. So that is why we have to be very careful about what we are saying, how we are communicating, and what words and sentences we are using in what situation, right? So situation matters a lot. We have to be very careful about choosing our words and sentences. And that is what makes a lot of difference in being a good communicator or a bad communicator. There's a very thin line between a good communicator and a bad communicator, guys. So whatever is there, we need to be very crystal clear. We need to have clarity in our minds, in our thoughts before conveying it to others. And rest you'll learn from your experience, and this is the kind of exposure you get. So guys, that's it for today. I'll see you in my next session. Until then, keep learning, keep speaking, keep watching, and keep exploring. See you. Bye-bye and take care.